We are back popping with the conversation, folks, on the best form of Crimson Tide football content. In my own words, with yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Once again, the number, folks, is the call line's open, 205-448-1358, 205-448-1358. But now, the conversation we've all been waiting for. Alabama's 2016 defense, Alabama's 2016 football team. Was this the greatest team Nick Saban has ever assembled with no national championship? And this one right here, I partially blame myself because I was supposed to have been at the 2017 national championship game off the 16 season. I ended up having car issues, could not make it down there for TDA, and I was watching the game at a friend's house. We all saw the highs and the lows of what happened, but it is what it is. Still, though, partially blame myself just due to Alabama's had some great teams of the Nick Saban era. It's had some great national championship teams. 2009 was a great team. 2011 was a great team. 2012 was solid. 2015 was dynamic. 2017 was even good. But that 2016 team, it just hit different. It was a unique bunch. It was an incredible cast of characters. It is rare when you have a team, especially a defense, when everybody knows their role and everybody executed their role to perfection. Everybody on that defense knew their role, and everybody on that defense executed that role to perfection. I mean, if you're seeing the slide here that we're about to show on screen, I mean, my goodness, of these players that are coming up, my goodness, the creatures Alabama had when you talk Jonathan Allen, Reuben Foster, Tim Williams, Ryan Anderson, Dalvin Tomlinson, Daron Payne, Minkah Fitzpatrick. Dear God, the creatures Alabama had on that football team. Whew. I mean, all that was missing was Eddie Jackson and Sean Dion Hamilton. And I'll get into that in a minute as my reasons as to why this team should have won a ring and did not win one. But the creatures on that team, unbelievable. And I went to every game except one. I was on the road for every game except one. And that 2016 team, that was like going on tour with the Jackson 5, for real. That 2016 team was the equivalent of watching Bon Jovi, U2, Nirvana, Pearl Jam, AC/DC in their prime. That 2016 team, and it was, opposition couldn't stop them. The ops could not stop that team. That defense was so good, the defense was scoring just as much as the offense was scoring. In at least 9 games, in 9 of 15 games, the defense registered touchdowns. In 9 of 15. I just personally remember the USC game, Marlon Humphrey pick 6. The Western Kentucky game, Eddie Jackson pick 6. The Ole Miss game, you had Daron Payne recovering a fumble for a touchdown. And then also big boy Jonathan Allen recovers a Chad Kelly fumble and rumbles and bumbles 75 yards to the house. And then, the Tennessee game was a pick 6 for Ronnie Harrison. The Kentucky game, Ronnie Harrison scored. The Arkansas game, my goodness, I felt so bad for Austin Allen. He got picked off 3 times by Minkah Fitzpatrick. Served him a 3-piece to the dome with no fries and no drink, and took a pick 6 back 100 yards for a touchdown. And then Tim Williams scored against Arkansas. The Florida game, Minkah Fitzpatrick scored in the SEC championship. The college football playoff Chick-fil-A game, Ryan Anderson, the angry man, picked off Jake Brown and scored. It was pick your poison. Whoever wanted to score on that defense, they all scored. And according to the slide you're about to see right now, Alabama's defense 2016 just dominated. Led college football in points per game allowed, 13. was second in college football in yards per game allowed, 261.8. Led the league in rush yards allowed, 64. Was ninth in college football in passer rating and giving up a pass efficiency rating of 106.5. Was third in college football in turnover margin, plus 18. Was third in third down efficiency defense, 30.7%. Was first in touchdown scoring, 11. Was first in sacks with 54. This defense was all over the field, people. All over the field. Can't touch that dude. All over the field. And then when you look at just the guys that got drafted off that defense, Alabama 5 first-rounders. Jonathan Allen went in the first round. Deron Payne first round. Reuben Foster first round. Minka Fitzpatrick first round. Marlon Humphrey first round. It had 21 players off that team that got drafted. 21! And I'm about to dive into now the painful reason why Alabama did not win a ring with that football team. So, reason number one, people, if only Nick Saban and Lane Kiffin would have just squashed the beef and settled their differences. You can respect somebody without liking them. Nick Saban respected Lane Kiffin, didn't like him. Lane Kiffin respected Nick Saban, didn't like him. Nick Saban was one of those coaches that he would throw the headset at you. He would throw the clipboard down. He would get in your face. He would give you the famous, infamous butt chewings, and he would want you just to sit there and take it. Lane Kiffin, I'm sorry, was not that type of cat. He was not going to sit there and take it. He was a free spirit. He was his own guy. He would pop the mouth off back at Nick Saban. He would throw gestures at Nick Saban. And I guess that's the reason why fans loved Kiffin wasn't taking no mess. But if these two would have set aside their differences for the betterment of the team, the betterment of the defense, and most importantly, the betterment of Jalen Hurts, that team would have won a championship. Because I don't care how many people say, well, Steve Sarkisian was a part of that program, or Steve Sarkisian was breaking down film, or Steve Sarkisian was putting strategies together. Sarkisian knew what to do. Sarkisian was a premature baby in that moment, y'all. Sarkisian was not supposed to be out there. Sarkisian got on that field and it was, SpaghettiOs. He wasn't ready. Sark wasn't ready. He was still mentally getting over the pain, the physical, mental, emotional pain that he went through being fired from Washington, being fired from USC because of alcohol and drugs. When he got to Alabama in 2016, it was Sark's first time actually breathing a sigh of fresh air and trying to get back into just enjoying football. He wasn't ready for that moment. You saw it when Bo Scarborough went down. Sark became a deer in headlights. Brother wasn't ready, man. And for Kiffin, if this was Kiffin in that situation, he would have had a backup plan. He would have had a plan B. He would have had a solution. But it is what it is. They couldn't get over the beef. Second reason as to why, Alabama did not get that ring in 2016, if Bo Scarborough did not get hurt. Bo was killing Clemson. All Alabama was running that first half was stretch play to the right, stretch play to the left, dive play up the middle. Bo was getting chunk yards. Man, but Bo didn't have no hurdle. He didn't have no jump cut. He didn't have no spin move. He had one speed, just run through every freaking body, just plow through every freaking body. That was Bo. And he did that. And Alabama jumped out to a 14-0 lead, and fans are going, oh, man, this is going to be light work. Oh, man, Bo came to play. Oh, man, this ain't going to be nothing. We're going to run through Clemson. That's what Bama fans were thinking about. We're going to run through Clemson. And then Bo gets hurt, and all the air goes out of the sail. For me, I'm wondering, why was Damian Harris not used? He was only just a 1,000-yard back. Why was Josh Jacobs not used? All he did that freshman year was pick up 567 yards rushing on 85 carries and won 5 darn touchdowns. Why was Josh Jacobs not used? I don't know. Why did Alabama not get the ball more to O.J. Howard? I mean, he only burned the Crimson Tigers in the first national championship showdown. Why was Alabama not throwing the ball more to Ardarius Stewart? Why was Alabama not utilizing Garrett Dieter more? I mean, come on. I don't know what the issue was. I don't know what the problem was. I mean, that day I was just drinking some cream soda with my boy L Boogie. I was probably needing to drink some Heineken because that right there, man. So, Bo Scarborough, if he didn't get hurt, would have been a different story. Last but not least, if Bama would have had Sean Dion Hamilton and Eddie Jackson. Sean Dion Hamilton and Eddie Jackson. Sean Dion got hurt his knee against Florida in the SEC title game that year. Eddie Jackson grew some leg injury against Texas A&M during the regular season. If we would have had both of those guys, better yet, if we would have had just one of them, if Bama would have had just one of them, Bama would have beaten Clemson. If Bama would have had just one of them, because if Bama would have had Eddie Jackson, it would have put Minkah Fitzpatrick on Hunter Renfrow. That would have been a much better matchup. No offense to Tony Brown. No offense to TB. No offense to the intimidating silverback gorilla. But his role was the intimidation factor. He took off his shirt and he would walk through opposing teams' practices, warm-ups, trying to intimidate folks. That was Tony Brown. He was not the pure coverage defensive back taking on a crafty route runner in Hunter Renfrow. If Bama would have had Sean Dion, Eddie Jackson, or at least one of the two, it would have been a completely different outcome. But that team was incredible, y'all. That team was unbelievably incredible. And I got a chance to watch every single game. I was at every single game except one. Every game except one. But it was awesome. And I know the 2011 team is going to hate me for saying this because I love the 2011 team. But the 2016 team, bar none, period, the best defensive team Coach Saban ever assembled, period. And probably one of the best defenses in Alabama football history. But we take another break here on In My Own Words. Don't touch that dial, folks. When we get back, as I catch my breath, we will dive back into more of your phone calls, tweets, text messages, thoughts, questions, and concerns after this.
T-Town Menswear in the University Mall in Tuscaloosa. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $5.95 per month or pay $49.95 for a full year subscription. That's a saving of almost $22. Make sure to subscribe before it's too late and get our new freshly printed end of the year magazine issue. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
Thank you for watching Touchdown Alabama Magazine's YouTube channel. To continue to get the best in Alabama football content, subscribe here and turn on your notifications to stay connected with the hottest shows covering your Crimson Tide.